The system handle it? Are there efforts to get in the way? Will voters trust the outcome? Let's turn to Larry Sabato. He is the director of the University of Virginia Center for Politics. Professor Sabato, good to see you and thank you.
Thank you, Shep.
A cut cable in Virginia, misprinted ballots in spots across the nation, some wrong names, some wrong addresses. Not everywhere, but there have been glitches. Can the system handle this?
We're going to find out. Some days I don't think so, like today here in Virginia with that cut cable of all the days for the system to shut down, the last day to register to vote. It makes you wonder, are these things really accidents, or, as many people have emailed me today, were they intentional in some fashion? I don't think they were intentional. But, you know, Shep, this is because, first of all, the system wasn't built to handle maybe half the vote being cast ahead of Election Day. It also is partly a result of partisans deciding that certain voting methods favor them, and they want to minimize the methods that don't favor them. That leads to voter suppression.
Look at Texas and Georgia and elsewhere. Help our viewers understand the facts about what's happening there.
Well, let's take Texas, for example. I try to be as kind as I can be, but I have got to say that the decision by Governor Abbott in Texas to limit the vote drop-off boxes to one per county, when some counties have very little population, and Harris County, the Houston area, has millions of people, as you mentioned. One drop box for votes. Isn't it obvious? Harris County, Houston, is a Democratic area. It'll produce a big margin for Democrats, assuming people are actually able to vote.
So you're talking voter suppression?
Absolutely. That is voter suppression. Nobody is going to prove otherwise. That is voter suppression, underlined 10 times.
Given all that we've heard, what should voters expect, Larry, on election night?
Given that a good piece of the voting will be done ahead of time, but can't be opened in many states until the polls close at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or whenever they close locally, you're going to have all of those paper ballots first taken out of the envelopes in some states. Others will have already done that. But then count it, sent through a machine. Maybe partisans will want to double check. There's simply no way to do it quickly when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of ballots in some states, millions and millions across the country. So people who want an election night need to remember that if there's not a landslide, then you're talking about election week. And let's just all pray it doesn't go beyond a week.
In absence of a landslide, as you put it, what are your concerns about how candidates may react?
Oh, I'm very concerned, particularly, to be honest, about President Trump at the national level and some state candidates who are going to take the voting day, November 3rd voting, which will probably be released first in most states, and use that to claim victory when, in fact, the election day vote is going to be very substantially Republican. The pre-election vote is going to be very substantially Democratic, but it won't all be counted until the next day or later in the week. So if you're a Republican candidate or you're President Trump, you go out there and declare victory, then your supporters will think that any attempt to count the other votes and to make the election go the other way is voter fraud, which is malarkey, but we all know that people are gullible.
Professor Sabato from UVA, thank you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.